welcome to Year 5 6th edition of Teach Time Maths. So today we're going to be looking at something called short division, which is often called bus stop method. And we're going to be looking at 4-digit numbers divided by 2-digit numbers and 3-digit numbers divided by 1-digit number. Now if you're working at a Year 5 level, this would be the one that you'd have to learn in school. If you're working at a Year 6 level, you'd be working towards 4-digit numbers by 2-digit numbers. So today I'm going to do 3-digit divided by 1-digit first, and then I'm going to move on to this one. Okay, so we'll start off with 3 digits divided by 1. So I'll pick out a random 3-digit number, 246 divided by 4. So you might all be wondering, how do you lay out bus stop? You might have done this before. I know I just did it with my class the other month. But you draw a right angle like this. You want it big enough to be able to fit your 3-digit number inside. So that's it, it's nicely in there. The number you're dividing by goes on the outside. So when you're in the bus stop, you need to make sure, pretend it's like 3 different people. They like to be separate. So you need to make sure that there's a space between them. They're nicely laid out. And then you can pretend that this is the bus that's coming along. So you need to make sure that that's on the outside. So I'm looking at how many groups of 4 can I sort the number into. Well, if I've only got 2 counters, I can't sort that into a group of 4. So what I do is I write a 0 at the top because I can't sort that into any groups of 4. I cross this out just like when you do subtraction in column subtraction, and then I carry over my 2. So my 4 has turned into 24. Now I'm going to write out the 4 times table at the side. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36. I'll stop there. Okay. So I have a look. Is 24 in the 4 times table? I can see that it is. So I go 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. Now I need to count how many groups of 4 I've timesed it by. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I put a 6 at the top. Now I don't have any left over. That's a perfect group. So I can just move on to my number here. Now 6 is too many to sort into a group of 4, but it's not big enough to sort into 2 groups. So what I have to do is I can get 1 group out of 6. If I show you here, I've got 6 counters. I can get 1 group of 4 out of that, but I've got 2 left over. So what I do is I write the 1 at the top because I've sorted 1 group, and then I do remainder, which is how many I have left over. So that's remainder 2. So I write 61 remainder 2 at the top. Now I'm going to give you one to have a go at yourself, so I'll help you lay it out. So 239 divided by 3 is your number. So we need to lay out our bus stop, and you need to put your big number in the middle, so 239 in the middle, and then your bus, the number you're dividing into, over at the side. Okay? Have a go and see if you can work this out. Write the 3 times table down the side of your paper if it helps. Okay? I'll give you a minute. Okay, let's have a go at this together. So 3, I'm going to do the 3 times table at the side. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. So 3 groups. Well, groups of 3 is what I'm looking for. And my first number is 2. I can't get a group of 3 out of 2 counters. So I'm going to put a 0 at the top because that's no groups for that column. Cross it out and join it here onto 23. So now I'm going to have a look at my 3 times table because I'm not going to draw out 23 counters for this one. So I have a look down and I've got 24, which is too much. I wouldn't have enough to make 24, so I'll have to go to the one below it, which is 21. Now I can check 23 is higher than 21, so I can definitely get that many counters out. So let's count up in the 3 times table to work out how many that is. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I write a 7 at the top. Now I need to work out how many I have left over. What's my remainder? So if you're working with a bigger times table, you might want to do it as a subtraction question. So I put 23 first, take away 21, which is 2. You could have done that as counting on until you got to 23, but if you're working with things like the 9 times table, it can get a bit more complicated, and sometimes it's just easier to do a takeaway. So I know I've got 2 left over to join onto this one, so my 9 becomes 29. So I'm going to have a look at my 3 times table again, and I can see that I'm 1 away from 30. I don't quite have enough to make 10 groups of 3, but I can make 9 groups of 3, 27. So I know that 9 times 3 is 27, so I put my 9 at the top, and then I do 29, take away 27 to find out my remainder, and I know again that that's 2. So that's remainder 2. So if you got the answer 79, remainder 2, fantastic. If you didn't quite get that answer, I hope me going through it helped you work out where you went a little bit wrong. Sometimes when you get the remainders, it can get quite tricky if you put the wrong number at the top and then carry a different number. It can get a little bit confusing, which is why I always like to write the times table down the side and do the takeaways at the bottom so you can clearly see where you've done your subtractions and where you've done your carrying on. If you're in something like a SATs paper, it's really good, no matter how small the detail, even if it is just 23 take away 21, always write it down, because if you go slightly wrong there, then the person who's marking your test can see where you've gone wrong, and they can then give you an extra point for your method. So they can see, oh, they were really close, but it was just that one number. So they might give you an extra point because you tried and you can see that your method was correct, it was just that you carried the wrong number. But not to worry about SATs papers right now. At the moment, I still believe that they are cancelled. I don't think they're going back yet. So, for now, that is the end of the 3-digit divided by 1 digits. So, if you are working at a Year 5 level, I would suggest stopping the video now. You can carry on if you want to, but that's up to you. There will be some worksheets on Facebook for you to have a look at. Numbers. So, I'm going to pick a random 4-digit number. So, 4,261. And I'm going to divide that by a 2-digit number. Now, with the 2-digit numbers, I never really like going beyond 25 on a bus stop method. Some teachers will go all the way up to 30, some will even go up to 40 in the dividing by 2-digit numbers. But it can get a bit complicated, especially if you're like me and you don't know your 42 times table. So, I only really like going up to 25 because I can easily work out the 25 times table. But all you're going to be doing is, here you're going to be dividing by 12. So you should know your 12 times table. So we write out the bus stop and we do 4,261. I put my 12 on the outside. It's really important here that you don't squish the numbers into one box. You've got to remember to lay them out really neatly. So the trick with when you're dividing by a 2-digit number over here is your first number will never be able to go into a 2-digit group. This is 1 digit, that's 2 digits. So straight away you can put a 0 at the top, cross it out and carry it on. It will never be able to get into that group. I can promise you that, unless you have squashed all of your numbers together and this has turned into a 2-digit number. So instead of being 4, we now have 42. Before I go any further, I'm going to write out my 12 times table. So 12, 24, 36, turn that into a proper 6, 48, 60, 72, 84. I don't think I'll go any higher than 84 because I don't think these numbers are going to go any higher. So 42, I'm going to have a look down my 12 times table. I've got 48, but that's too big, so I'm going to have to go into the one below it, which is 36. So that's 3 times 12. So I know that's 3 groups of 12 that can go into 42. So I put my 3 at the top. Now I'm going to do the takeaway bit. So 42, take away 36. Remember to always do this, always show you're working out. You don't have to do it exactly like this, but always show how you've worked out your remainder. So 42 take away 36 is 6. So I cross that out and carry my 6 over. Don't carry your 6 over above here. Okay, you always carry it down below the line. That's because this is where we write the answer. So I've now got 66. Now I can have a look in the 12 times table. I've got 60 and the one above that is 72, so I'm going to have to stop at 60. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 12. So I do a 5 at the top. Now I know that 66 take away 60 is 6. All we're doing is we're taking off the 10s here. Okay, so I know that I've carried over 6 again, which leaves me with 61. So I already know that it's got 60 in it and it's too small to make up to 72. So I'm going to have to stop at 5 times 12 again. So that will be a 5 up here again. And 61 take away 60 is 1. So my remainder at the top will be 1. So I'm going to write up my answer here, which is 4,261 divided by 12 equals 355, remainder 1. Right, now it's over to you. I'm going to give you a 4-digit number and get you to divide it by a 2-digit number. So this time your question is going to be 6,528 divided by 11. My class love the 11 times table because up to 9 it's just the doubles. So I help you lay it out. Remember, you put your bigger number in the middle, so 6,528 goes in the bus stop and on the outside goes 11. Remember to write your 11 times table down the side to help you. Okay, I'm going to get you to pause the video now and have a go at that question by yourself. Okay, so let's have a look at this together. So I'm going to write my 11 times table down the side. So 11, 22, 33, 44, 55, 66, 77, 88, 99. I don't think it's going to go above 99, so I'll stop there. So remember, it's never going to be able to go into this first number. So I put a 0, cross it out and carry it over. So instead of being 6, it is now 65. So I can have a look here. it is just one away from being 66. If you have a look, I've got 65 and the group here needs 66. So sadly, it's going to be going down to 55, which the good thing about the 11 times table, it tells me in the number how many groups I've got. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups of 11. So I put my 5 at the top. And what's 65 take away 55? We should all know this. It's 10. So my remainder here is 10. Now, the really important bit here is you're not carrying over 1. Some people just write it as a 1, so it turns into 12. But you're actually carrying over 10, so it's now 102 is your next number. So, if I have a look here, so I will just carry on to the next 11 times table so you can clearly see. So, I can't quite get up to 110 with my 102. So I am going to have to go down to 99, which is 9 times 11. So 9 goes up here. So now I need to work out 102 take away 99. So that's 3 left over. So I cross that out and I put 3 next to my 8. So that turns into 38. So I do 11, 22, 33. Can I get up to the next one? 44? Not quite. So instead of having 44, I'm going to stop at 33, which is 3 lots of 11. So I do my 3 up here. Now I need to work out what my remainder is. So 38 take away 33 equals 5. So my remainder is 5. You might have done this in school where you go into decimal points. I'm not going to do decimal points today. I will save that for another day because it's a bit more tricky. But if you want to, you can do decimal points on the worksheets. I will be absolutely amazed if you can do that, and you can put a picture on the comments. So first things, let's finish off our sentence up here. So 6,528 divided by 11 equals 593, remainder 5. Okay, so that was a brief whirlwind tour of 3-digit divided by 1-digit numbers and 4-digit divided by 2-digit numbers using the bus stop method. So there will be worksheets on Facebook, but we will be doing more division either later this week or next week. We're going to be doing long division though, which involves chunking. And then there'll be like a mini quiz on the Facebook page for you to have a look at for both of these. Okay? So have fun with this at home. There is worksheets up on Facebook for you to have a go at, and you can join me. I am currently out in the sunshine while I'm recording this, hence the reason we're not at my normal desk. So go out and enjoy the sunshine and have lots of fun.